Naka-side view ka dito.
Teka. Ito.
We are not proclaiming that we have gotten rid of corruption. There is still corruption in this government and any other government that will come after me. And in the past, meron talaga yan. If there is a running bureaucracy and there is money involved and there are a lot of tables where the papers would go through, there will always be corruption. The most that we can do is to fight it. Unahin natin ang COVID-19 kasi ang COVID-19 nakakamatay. Ang West Philippine Sea, hindi maraming mamatay sa konsumisyon. Pero hindi ako.
The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Tropical Cyclone Krising has now weakened to a low-pressure area. And because of this, all tropical cyclone wind signals have been lifted. To give us more updates, we have Pag-asa weather forecaster Ana Cloren. Good afternoon, Ana. Could you tell us where the LPA, formerly known as TD Krising, is located now and where it's headed? Anna, can you hear us? We're going to try to circle back to Anna in a little bit. In the meantime, one of the government's immunization advisors is confident that the country can administer 1.5 million AstraZeneca doses ahead of the shot's expiration dates. Speaking on One News's agenda, Dr. Maria Consorcia Quizon said there is no doubt that the Philippines can use up all of its current supply of AstraZeneca before the doses expire in June or July. The country currently has a total of 2.5 million AstraZeneca doses, 2 million of which have only been delivered over the weekend. Quizon says the first 500,000 of the latest batch can be administered before the end of the month, mostly for members of priority groups that are eligible to receive their second dose. The expert is confident that the Philippines has the capacity to roll out the remaining 1.5 million doses over the next 2 months or before their expiration dates.
70 million, tapos 2.5 itong dumating. Talaga mag-i-imagine ka na mabilis ito na mauubos. So, I have no doubt na mapapanisan tayo o ma-expirean tayo ng gamot. Hindi mangyayari yan. Maibibigay yan. We have the capacity.
But despite this optimism, some local government units are experiencing problems with no-show registrants in their vaccination programs. On the same program, Mandaluyong City Health Officer Dr. Alexandra Santamaria said some vaccine registrants still change their minds and would refuse to receive the shots at the last minute. Santamaria encourages members of priority groups to grab the opportunity to get vaccinated while supplies are available.
So, meron naman yung listahan na nilalabas po everyday. Pero syempre, di ho lahat po kasi nakakarating. So, one challenge din po is to convince po yung aming mga constituents na talagang grab the opportunity to be vaccinated. Kasi it is very important.
Circling back now to Ms. Ana Cloren from Pag-asa to tell us about the LPA, formerly known as TD Crising. Good morning, Ana.
Yes, good morning, Sir Charles. As of 8 a.m. today, Tropical Depression Crising weakens into a low-pressure area and will continue to move westward or west-northwestward and emerge over the Sulusi in the next 6 to 12 hours.
Could you tell us which specific areas are still being affected by this LPA?
Light to moderate to at times heavy rains is still expected over the Zamboanga Peninsula, Davao Oriental, Davao de Oro, Davao del Norte, Davao City, Davao del Sur, Cotabato, Maguindanao, Bukidnon, Lanao del Norte, Lanao del Sur, and Misamis Occidental.
Is there any possibility or likelihood that this will re-intensify into a tropical cyclone?
As of the moment, it is expected or less likely to re-intensify into a tropical cyclone.
Right. Is Pag-asa currently observing any other weather disturbances that may affect today's weather?
As of the moment, we're not expecting or we're not monitoring any weather disturbance that may affect the country in the next 3 to 5 days.
Right, thank you for your time. That was Pag-asa weather forecaster Ana Cloren. An independent panel of 11 pandemic response experts say the WHO and the entire international system need to be overhauled. The group says its long period of inaction has worsened the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The full story from Bloomberg Quick Take.
When was the last time that our life was hijacked for 12 months in a row? Couldn't travel, couldn't see our loved one, couldn't do the things we want to do, couldn't go to the restaurant. Do we want to go through that again? And if we don't want to go through that again collectively, then we need to implement the recommendation, the set of recommendations. We can blame China for losing few days, and we can blame WHO for losing maybe a week before, calling the public health emergency of international concern. But basically, 90% of the country around the globe sat on their hands for like 4 to 6 weeks. The reality, it's on them. Fairly early on, it was pretty clear that most likely there was human-to-human transmission. And I'm, pretty convinced that this should have been communicated a few days earlier. And it is important because that was, for me, one of the wake-up trigger call or something big is going to happen. I don't think it hit everybody the same, but people who tackle epidemic knows that human-to-human transmission of a novel pathogens, you got to pay attention. It's about making sure that we distribute the vaccine and making sure that we are enabling manufacturing and scaling up of manufacturing of vaccine with voluntary licensing. And if it doesn't happen, then we should think about waiver on intellectual property. My biggest worry actually is that high-income country will end up fairly soon in the next few months having the upper hand on COVID-19, and then we're going to be faced with low and middle-income country still being in the fight for it. And it's going to become the neglected pandemic in the low and middle income country. So it is important that we get the finish line together. I think that's the humanitarian thing to do. That's to be in solidarity. Even for our own domestic self-interest, it's still the thing to do because we don't want to have a variant of concern coming and knocking back at our door in a few months down the road where it will have escaped the vaccine we've been vaccinated with.
After the national costume show, Miss Universe Philippines Rabia Mateo and her fellow delegates will now compete in the preliminaries, where they will be given the last chance to win the hearts of judges and the audience before Coronation Night. Let's find out Rabia's last-minute preparations for the preliminary competition with MJ Marfori. She's reporting live from the News 5 studio. Good afternoon, MJ. What do we expect for the preliminary competition and how are preparations coming along?
Well, Charles, preliminaries are the really nerve-wracking experience for the candidates because the judges will select the top 21 semi-finalists from the preliminary. So what we can see tomorrow at 7 a.m. in the Miss Universe YouTube page or Lazada app, where it is the official partner, is like the show proper, but it's just a preliminaries. They're going to don their swimsuits. Everyone, the whole world or universe rather, would look at the candidates and see them and how their performances are. And that's where we'll see who will really stand out in the crowd of 74 candidates from the Miss Universe beauty contestants who joined this year. So yes, Rabia is really doing great, Charles, so far. And we just had, as you can see right now on the screen, we just had the national costume today, and she did great. She donned a Rocky Gathercole national costume inspired by our Philippine flag, and she garnered praises from it, but a lot of people were saying that she did not get to wear her headdress, but Shamsi Supsup, the national director of Miss Universe Philippines, said that is because they prioritized Rabia's comfort above all else, because the wings alone, according to Jonas Gafford, Rabia's mentor, is 21 kilos already. Imagine walking and strutting your stuff on that stage with 21 kilos in tow, right, Charles? So that's really hard to do, but Rabia managed to do it really well. And after she did so, there was an exit interview, and she said that she felt like a Victoria's Secret model, Charles.
Weight behind you, but then really what she does have right now is all the weight of the nation on her shoulders, and she's carrying it quite nicely, you know, MJ. So have we heard from beauty queen fans and other beauty queens about Rabia's dress? What did they have to say?
Well, a lot of them didn't comment on that already, but Miss Universe 1969 Gloria Diaz already spoke. Also, Ariela Arida, who is 2013 Miss Universe third runner-up, already said that they feel that Rabia is easily going to land the top 5 with all her preparations, Charles. She has been preparing even though there is a pandemic. A lot of them which were held online, but she did it really well. And we have to remember, it's her first time to join a national competition, and now she's in Miss Universe, and she is doing really, really great. She is giving her best. She is having fun. Really, that is one of the major keys to stay focused on this competition. And she knows why she is there, and that is for the Philippines, which she keeps on saying in all her interviews. And right now, she is relaxing because preliminaries are just hours away, and that is when we will know if she will land the top 21. But yes, with all the feedback coming from the queens, Catriona, Gray, Miss Universe, Pia Wurtzbach, they all said Rabia is gonna make it, of course, easily in the top 5. And hashtag Arriba Rabia is really the one that's trending now on Twitter, Charles.
Costume done. Now we're getting set for the closed-door interviews. Could you tell us how our candidate is gearing up for this?
OMG. Actually, Charles, the closed-door interviews already happened, and that's when we saw Catriona finally speak her mind. Remember, a lot of issues of the fans raised when Catriona weren't saying anything about Rabia, but then again, finally, Catriona Gray already spoke up and said, please say a prayer for Rabia, because the selection committee are all women. 2 Miss Universe. We do have a reporter there in the selection committee, power women basically, and everyone, a lot of them that's when they'll get to know in an 8-minute interview if Rabia is really cut for the job of being Miss Universe.
So the excitement just gets greater and greater the closer we get to Coronation Night. Thanks for that, MJ. That was MJ Marfori, live from the News 5 studio in Mandaluyong. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live, anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.